Would you agree that these quality control issues are totally unacceptable?
I would absolutely agree with that. Yes, sir.
Did you have contractors go back to stores and buy medicine instead of recalling the medicine?
No, we did. Let me explain that, sir. I think it's very important. There's a lot of misinformation about the entirety of this recall, and I'm glad you raised that issue right now because I think there's misperceptions. We did have a Motrin dissolution issue in 2009. It was on a small product that was distributed in gasoline stations. We discussed with the San Juan district of the FDA this issue. We just talked to them about hiring a third-party contractor to go to see the breadth of the distribution of these products. So we were in discussions with them. They knew that we'd hired this third party, and the third party did go out to make an inventory, and we discussed that with the San Juan office of the FDA. So there was never any intent to mislead or hide anything from anyone.
So the San Juan office of the FDA were aware of the fact that you were going out to purchase?
That is correct, sir. We were in discussions with them.
Let me make certain I understand. Now, you went out and you purchased them, but the FDA was aware of the fact that you were going to do it?
Let me see if I can explain what happened.
Yeah, help me.
Yeah, we had a Motrin product where the dissolution profile, or how it's solubilized, wasn't in specification. So it was sold, it's a small product, it's sold primarily in gas stations. We discussed this issue with the San Juan office of the FDA, and we agreed, or we offered, to have a contract force go out and identify how much of this was in the marketplace. The FDA was aware that we were doing that in San Juan, and we did that. I can't tell you about the behavior of these contractors in the market or what they said or didn't say or how they acted, but clearly the FDA was aware of this, and there was no intent, obviously, to mislead or hide anything.
In other words, to tell us, for the contractors to go in and say, do not mention the fact that this is a recall, you know nothing about any of that.
I know nothing about that, sir. I know only that we were in discussions with the FDA in San Juan over the product issue and how we were planning to handle it with a third-party contractor.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of documents or anything that might be able to confirm what you're saying? Because, you know, I just find that, you know, in terms of the fact that FDA is saying that they learned of this, and later on, if you're in discussions with them, you know, why wouldn't they know it immediately?
Chairman Towns, I can't answer that question. What I can do is I can promise you to get back to you with the kind of documentation what we have to regarding this issue. In fact, I'd welcome the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I would like for you to do that for me because
I'm happy to.
I just find this very, very disturbing. In fact, that that they went in to purchase the products. FDA is saying they had no knowledge of it, and of course,
no more disturbing than I do, sir.
Right. How can this happen in a company of your size and reputation? I mean, how could something like this happen? Your company's had a long-standing reputation, you know, and
you know, that's a question we've been asking ourselves, and what I can tell you is that we think it comes down to a number of factors. It comes down to people and leadership and processes, and what I can tell you is that we've made significant changes in the leadership. We've actually changed 6 key executive positions. We've changed the head of OTC manufacturing. We've changed the head of OTC quality. We've changed the head of the plant at Fort Washington. We've changed the head of quality at Fort Washington. We've changed the head of quality at our Puerto Rico plant. We've changed the head of manufacturing, and we've reassigned people at other levels.
So all of your quality issues have now been solved?
Oh, I would not say that, sir. What I would say in addition is that we've undertaken a broad assessment of all of our OTC plants. We've engaged a third-party contractor, third-party expert to take a look at our plants and help us do this assessment. And we've committed to the FDA that by July 15th, we'll have a master plan regarding the remediation of all of our plants as necessary.
Right, thank you. And now you have 5 minutes to the gentleman from California, Congressman Issa.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, I want to just, Ms. Goggins, go back to this contractor business. Now, the contractors, what were they contracted to do, and who contracted them? Explain all this to me, because it's just not clear to me.
I can tell you what I know, and then I promise you I'll come back to you with more information. The product in question is sparsely distributed, as I understand it, primarily in gas stations. So I think the idea was to go in and identify how much product there was on the shelves, but beyond that, I don't know, sir. We did contract them, but as I said, I'm told that we contracted them in discussions and with the knowledge of the San Juan office of the FDA.
So I guess what I'm saying, were they instructed to go out and buy, if they found?
I can't answer that, sir, nor can I answer the question of what they're alleged to have said. I don't know the answers to that.
Well, I'd like for you to get back to us on, because these contractors, I just find this very disturbing,
As do I.
Yeah. Okay, so in other words, you do not know who actually contracted them or what their role and responsibility was. You don't know any of that, those kind of
I know
questions.
only that I imagine we contracted them, sir, and we did so, as I'm told, with the knowledge of the FDA.
Were they instructed to do certain things?
I can't tell you right now what they were instructed to do or not, sir.
The quality control, do you have the same amount of people in the quality control unit today as you had 4 years ago, 3 years ago, or 8 years ago?
I believe.
What's the situation with quality control?
Yeah, I believe that at the Fort Washington plant, our head count is basically flat. I do know that between 2006 and 2009, we increased our spending 17%, and I know that we've increased it again this year.
Mm-hmm. This document that was actually just brought to my attention says this: you should simply act like a regular customer while making these purchases. There must be no mention of this being a recall of the product. If asked, simply state that your employer is checking the distribution chain of this product and needs to have some of it purchased for the project. It's a demonstration project, and we want to purchase some for the demonstration project. Is this accurate?
As I said, sir, I have no idea. What I can tell you is that I have no idea of whether or not that is true or not, and I also have no idea of the context, sir. I have no idea. All I know is that we did hire a third-party contractor, and I do know that we did it with discussions with the FDA, and they were aware of it.
But let me put it this way. If this is true, does it bother you?
Again, I don't know the context, sir. Thank you. I don't know the context. I'd have to understand the context. I don't believe there was any intent to mislead or hide anything, so I don't know the answer to that, so I can't answer that.
Really trying to finish this, but I tell you, there's just some unanswered questions here that just is very troubling. On that note, I yield to the ranking member, Congressman Issa.